What are the GED punctuation rules for all sentence types? Imagine trying to tell a story or answer a question clearly, but your punctuation is all over the place. It can make your writing confusing or hard to understand. That's why knowing the right punctuation rules for all types of sentences is so important, especially when preparing for the GED Reasoning through Language Arts test. Let's break down the main rules so you can write correctly and confidently. First, every sentence needs the right ending mark. If you're making a statement, use a period. For example, she finished her homework. If you're asking a question, end with a question mark. Like this, did she finish her homework? When you want to show strong feelings or give a command, use an exclamation point. For example, watch out. These marks tell the reader what kind of sentence you're writing. Next, commas are your best friends for making sentences clear. Use commas to separate items in a list of 3 or more. For example, I bought apples, bananas, oranges, and grapes. The comma before and is called the Oxford comma and is often needed for clarity. Also, put a comma after introductory words or phrases at the start of a sentence. Like, after dinner we went for a walk. Or, because it was cold I wore a jacket. When connecting to complete sentences with words like and, but, or nor, use a comma before the conjunction. For example, I wanted to go, but I was too tired. Commas also help set off extra information in a sentence. For example, my brother who lives in New York is visiting. The phrase between commas gives extra details but isn't essential to the main sentence. When contrasting ideas, you can use a comma to separate them. Like, that is my money, not yours. Or, I can go, can't I? Apostrophes are important for showing possession and contractions. For possession, add s for a singular noun, like the teacher's desk. For plural nouns ending in s, just add an apostrophe. For example, the teacher's lounge. In contractions, replace missing letters with an apostrophe. For example, don't for do not, it's for it is. Be careful to distinguish between the possessive it's and the contraction it's. The word it's shows possession, while it's means it is. Semicolons and colons are a bit more advanced but very useful. Use a semicolon to join to related independent sentences without a coordinating conjunction. Like, it was raining, we stayed inside. You can also use a semicolon before words like however or therefore when they connect to sentences. For example, I wanted to go, however I was too tired. A colon introduces a list, explanation, or quote after a complete sentence. For example, she bought 3 fruits, apples, oranges, and bananas. Finally, remember to capitalize the first word of each sentence, proper nouns like names of places or people, and the pronoun I. Use quotation marks to show direct speech or quotes. Parentheses can include extra information that isn't necessary for the main sentence but adds helpful details. When practicing for the GED, focus on identifying what type of sentence you're writing. Use the correct punctuation to match. For example, end statements with a period, questions with a question mark, and exclamations with an exclamation point. Use commas to make your sentences clearer, especially in lists and after introductory words. Avoid run-on sentences by using periods, semicolons, or commas with conjunctions properly. Practice using apostrophes to show possession and contractions. And learn how to correctly use semicolons and colons to connect related ideas or introduce lists. Mastering these rules will help you write more clearly and improve your score on the GED Reasoning through Language Arts test. Remember, good punctuation makes your writing easier to read and understand. Keep practicing, and you'll get better every day.